My eyelids felt heavy, but light forced its way in. I blinked until the shapes around me stopped spinning. A ceiling, white walls, the beeping of a machine beside me. My throat burned like sandpaper. Mom? My voice cracked, weak and foreign. Dad? A gasp. Then my mother's voice, trembling. You're awake, thank God. My father rushed closer. Don't move too much. Doctor said you'll feel weak. I tried to sit up, but my arms shook like they didn't belong to me. How long was I out? They exchanged looks, too long, too heavy. My stomach twisted. Months, my father finally said. You were in a coma after the accident. But don't worry, you're safe now. Months. My head spun. I forced myself to breathe. Then the most important thought struck. Where's Daniel? Where are Emily and Noah? Silence. My mother's hand froze over mine. My father's jaw clenched. I frowned. Why aren't they here? Did no one tell them? They know, Mom whispered. Then why aren't they here? My voice sharpened despite the weakness. They've been busy, Dad said carefully. Busy? I laughed dryly. I almost died. And my husband is too busy? Sweetheart, Mom soothed. Don't get upset. You need to heal first. I turned my head, eyes narrowing. What aren't you telling me? They exchanged another look. That silent conversation parents have when they want to shield you from the truth. My chest tightened. Mom, Dad, say it. No, darling, she said quickly. It's nothing you need to worry about right now. Don't lie to me. My voice broke. I want to see my children. Bring them here, please. Mom squeezed my hand. Not today. Soon. Tears stung my eyes. Something wasn't right. If everything was normal, Daniel would have been glued to my side. The kids would have run into this room the moment I opened my eyes. Instead, all I saw was hesitation. Dad, I whispered. Is Daniel okay? He's fine, Dad said too quickly. Then why I stopped as my chest ached, monitors beeping faster. I swallowed, lowering my tone. Why do you both look like you're hiding something? Enough, Dad said firmly. Rest. Doctor said your heart needs time. I stared at him, fury boiling beneath my fragile frame. Don't treat me like I'm broken. Tell me the truth. Mom stroked my hair, tears in her eyes. We didn't want you to wake up to pain. Please, just rest a little longer. I looked away, blinking hard to keep from sobbing. My voice was barely a whisper. Pain? What could be worse than waking up without my children? Neither of them answered. The silence was louder than any truth. Where's Daniel? My voice was steadier today, though my body still felt like it belonged to someone else. Mom smiled too quickly. He's busy with work. Work? I stared at her. After I almost died, Dad cleared his throat. He has responsibilities. The company, I cut him off. Responsibilities? What about me? What about Emily and Noah? The room went heavy. Mom's smile wavered, eyes darting toward the window. Dad shifted in his chair, fingers tapping on his leg. Why won't you look at me? My chest tightened. Are the kids okay? They're fine, Mom rushed to say. Healthy, growing. Then why aren't they here? Soon, Dad muttered. Soon? I clenched the blanket in my fists. I've been asleep for months. Don't tell me soon. Mom's hand landed on mine. Sweetheart, you need rest. Don't pressure yourself. I don't need rest. I need my family. My voice cracked, and I hated the weakness in it. Do they even know I'm awake? They know, Dad said, his tone clipped. I swallowed hard. Then why? The door opened. Nurse Claire walked in with her clipboard. She smiled warmly. Good morning. How are we feeling today? Confused. I said sharply. Where is my husband? Claire froze, glancing between my parents. I'm sure he'll come when he can. Her voice was kind, but her eyes betrayed hesitation. You too? I snapped. You can't even give me a straight answer? Darling, Mom started. No. My voice echoed louder than I meant. The monitor beside me beeped faster. Everyone's lying to me. Why? Claire stepped closer, placing a gentle hand on my arm. Please calm down. Stress isn't good for your recovery. Then tell me the truth. My eyes burned with tears. Why hasn't Daniel come? Why haven't my children? No one answered. I laughed bitterly, the sound hollow. Do you hear yourselves? I'm lying here, begging for scraps of honesty, and you all stand there pretending this is normal. Enough, Dad said, his voice hard. You don't understand everything that's happened. Then make me understand. My throat hurt, but the words wouldn't stop. Don't keep me in the dark. Don't treat me like I'm too fragile to hear the truth. Claire shifted uncomfortably. I'll give you some privacy. She slipped out quickly, the door clicking shut behind her. The silence stretched. I stared at them, my parents, people I trusted more than anyone, and all I saw were walls. Mom, I whispered, my voice shaking. Please, just tell me where my children are. That's all I want. Her lips trembled. She looked at Dad, desperate. Stop looking at him, I snapped. Talk to me. I'm your daughter, not a stranger. Her eyes filled with tears. You should focus on healing. Everything else can wait. Wait? My laugh turned into a sob. I missed months of their lives. Do you know how many nights I dreamed of them calling my name? And now you tell me to wait? Dad's fists clenched. We're doing what's best for you. No, I said, my voice low and raw. You're doing what's easiest for you. Hiding, pretending. They flinched at that. For the first time, they looked guilty. I wiped my tears with trembling fingers. Fine, if you won't tell me, I'll find out myself, Mom gasped. You can't. You're too weak. I'm not dead, I hissed. And I won't be treated like I'm invisible. If Daniel doesn't want to come, then I want to hear it from his mouth. If my children don't want to see me, then let me hear it from them. But don't you dare feed me lies about work and being busy. The room pulsed with silence. Finally, Mom whispered, he's under a lot of pressure. I leaned back, exhausted. Pressure? My voice was flat. What about me? I carried his children. I built a home. I fought to survive lying in that bed, hoping I'd wake up to their faces. And now all I get is excuses. Dad stood, his shadow long against the hospital wall. Enough for today. No, my whisper was sharp. It's only the beginning. Neither of them answered. But in their silence, I heard the truth clearer than words. Something was very, very wrong. The hallway outside my room was quiet except for the low murmur of voices. I stirred, turning my head, the curtain only half drawn. Poor woman, one nurse whispered. Her husband came often at first, but always with that other woman. Heartless, the second muttered. Imagine visiting your wife in coma while holding another's hand. My stomach dropped. I gripped the sheet, holding my breath. She has no idea, does she? No, her parents cover for him. They think she's too fragile. My vision blurred. The voices drifted away down the hall, but the words stayed, hammering inside my skull. I pressed the call button. Moments later, Mom entered with her too bright smile. You called? Yes, I said, my voice sharp. Tell me the truth. She froze. Truth about what? Daniel. My hands shook. The nurses were talking. They said he came here with another woman. Is it true? Her eyes widened, lips parting soundlessly. Don't you dare lie to me again, I whispered. Tell me. She reached for me. I pulled my hand back. Sweetheart, say it. My voice broke. The door opened and Dad stepped in, coffee in hand. What's going on? She knows, Mom whispered. Dad's face hardened. Who told you? It doesn't matter, I spat. I want the truth. Did Daniel cheat on me while I was lying here like a corpse? The silence was unbearable. Finally, Dad sighed, setting the cup down. Yes. My chest caved. I sucked in air, but it burned. He's been with her for months, Dad continued, his voice flat. He took the kids and left. I stared at him, numb. Left? He moved out, Mom whispered. With Emily and Noah. He said he couldn't handle. I slapped the bed railing, tears spilling. Couldn't handle? I was fighting for my life. And he ran into another woman's arms? Mom covered her mouth, sobbing. Dad just stood there stone. What about my children? My voice was hoarse. Where are they? Do they even know I'm awake? They're with him, Dad said. He didn't want to confuse them. He thought, I screamed. He thought erasing me was better? They're 5 and 8. They need their mother. The monitor beeped wildly. My breaths came fast and sharp. Calm down, Mom begged. You'll hurt yourself. I'm already hurt, I snapped. What more can he do? He took my babies, betrayed me, and you. I glared at them. You helped him. No, Mom cried. We didn't help. You stayed silent, I said coldly. You lied to my face. You told me he was busy with work. You told me my kids were fine, all while they were gone, stolen from me. Her sobs filled the room. Dad tried to speak. We thought it was best for who? My throat tore with the words. For me, or for him? He looked away. I pressed my hand to my chest, fighting for air. I gave him everything. I built a life with him. And the moment I couldn't stand, the moment I couldn't speak, He abandoned me. Mom reached out again. I turned away. Who is she? My voice was low, trembling. The woman. Dad hesitated. Her name's Sophie. He said she helped him through the hard months. Helped? I laughed bitterly. By taking my place in his bed? By stealing my children? No one answered. I stared at the ceiling, tears sliding into my hair. My world tilted, everything spinning. Emily's laughter echoed in my memory, Noah's small arms wrapping around my neck. Mommy, don't go. I had promised I'd never leave them. And now I'd woken up to find they were gone. I want to see them, I whispered. Now. They're not here, Dad said. Then call him. Tell him to bring them. He won't, Dad muttered. I snapped my gaze to him. What do you mean he won't? He doesn't want to disrupt their routine. He says they've adjusted. Adjusted? My hands trembled. Adjusted to life without me? Mom sobbed harder. My heart cracked piece by piece, under the weight of it all. I whispered their names like a prayer. Emily, Noah, my babies. The room blurred. I felt like I was drowning. I should have died, I choked. It would have been easier than this. No, Mom cried, clutching me despite my resistance. Don't say that, please. Dad's voice was rough. You're alive. That's what matters. Alive. I laughed bitterly. Alive for what? To see my husband love another woman? To know my children sleep in her house? Call her name? Neither of them had an answer. I wiped my face with shaky hands. My voice hardened. He may have taken them, but I am still their mother. Nothing he does will change that. Mom sniffled, nodding. But Dad's silence told me he wasn't convinced. I glared at him. Do you even care what this is doing to me? His jaw clenched. I care, but I also care about them. Daniel, he provides stability. My stomach lurched. Stability? By tearing them from their mother? By parading them in front of his mistress? His eyes flickered, guilt finally breaking through. I will fight him, I whispered fiercely. Even if I have to crawl out of this bed, I will bring my children back. Mom cupped my face, tears streaming. We'll figure it out. Just don't destroy yourself in the process. But her words rang hollow, because deep down, I knew the war had already begun. Why didn't you stop him? My voice trembled, but my anger carried it across the room. Mom's eyes filled with tears. We couldn't, you could have. I slammed my hand on the betrayal. You could have fought for me, for Emily, for Noah. Instead, you let him walk out with my children like I was already dead. Dad's jaw tightened. He's their father. He has rights, and I'm their mother. I shouted. Or does that mean nothing to you? Silence. Their silence was worse than the gossip, worse than the coma itself. I shook my head, choking on disbelief. I lay here helpless, and you chose him over me. No, Mom whispered, clutching my arm. We chose peace. Peace? I ripped my arm away. What peace do you see in me now? Do I look peaceful to you? Dad spoke, voice firm. We thought you wouldn't wake up. The words cut like knives. So you gave up on me? You buried me alive and handed my life to him? Mom broke down, sobbing. We didn't know what else to do. Daniel, he came often. He said he couldn't survive alone. He promised he'd take care of the children. He promised? I spat. And you believed him? You trusted the man who abandoned his wife in a hospital bed to raise my children? Dad lowered his eyes. At least they had stability. I almost laughed. Stability with his mistress? With a stranger in their lives? That's what you call stable. Mom's shoulders shook. He said Sophie was kind to them. That they were adjusting. Stop saying that word. I screamed. Adjusting to what? To forgetting me? The monitor beeped faster. My chest heaved, but I couldn't stop. You should have fought, I said through tears. You should have told him no, that I was still their mother. Instead, you handed them over and lied to me every single day. Dad stepped closer, voice low. We kept talking to him because we thought it was the only way to keep the children near us. If we cut ties, we might lose them completely. I stared at him, betrayal burning through my veins. So you helped him. You didn't just stay silent, you supported him. Mom covered her face. We thought it was the best choice. The best choice for who? My voice was raw. For you? For him? Because it sure as hell wasn't for me. Dad's silence was the answer. I leaned back, tears blurring everything. You didn't just abandon me once, you abandoned me twice. First, when you let him walk away. Then, when you chose to stand by him instead of me. Mom's sobs grew louder, but I felt nothing. Just emptiness. You're my parents, I whispered. You were supposed to protect me when I couldn't protect myself. Instead, you sided with the man who betrayed me. Dad's voice cracked for the first time. We didn't want to lose the children. You lost me, I said coldly. The silence that followed was suffocating. I turned my face toward the wall, gripping the blanket. If you can still look at him, still talk to him, then don't you dare look at me and call yourself my parents. Mom reached for me again. Please, don't say that, leave, I whispered. Darling, leave. My voice tore out of me, raw and desperate. Dad pulled her back. I heard his sigh, heavy and defeated. The door clicked shut. Alone, I pressed my fist against my mouth to keep from screaming. My body shook, my tears soaking the pillow. Abandoned by my husband. Abandoned by my parents. I had never felt so utterly alone in my life. The door creaked open, and I froze. I knew that laugh, soft, practiced, dripping with sweetness. Darling, Mom greeted warmly. You came. I turned my head, and there she was. Sophie, elegant dress, perfect hair, polished smile. She walked in like she owned the place. And behind her, Daniel. My breath caught. Rage seared my veins. Sweetheart, Mom said to me, forcing cheer. Look who's here. I glared. I see. Sophie's eyes sparkled as if she pitied me. It's so wonderful to finally meet you. I've heard so much. Have you? My voice was cold. Daniel shifted uncomfortably. Let's not know, I snapped. Let's. Mom shot me a warning glance. Don't upset yourself, I'm already upset, I hissed. Sophie stepped closer, her perfume suffocating. You're very strong. Daniel worried so much about you. We all did. We? I barked a laugh. Who's we exactly? She blinked, still smiling. Well, Daniel and I stop. My hands shook. Don't speak like you're part of this family. You are nothing to me. Daniel exhaled, rubbing his temples. Please. Can we not fight? Fight? I turned to him. You brought her into my hospital room, into my life. You think I'll stay silent? He looked at my parents, desperate. I told you this was a bad idea. Dad cleared his throat. We just wanted peace. I snapped. By inviting my replacement to sit at my bedside, Sophie's smile never faltered. I'm not here to replace anyone. I only want what's best for Emily and Noah. My stomach dropped. Don't you dare say their names. They're children, she said gently. They need stability. They need their mother. My voice shook the room. Not some stranger who slid into my life the moment I couldn't fight back. Daniel finally spoke, his tone defensive. She was there when I needed someone. The kids adore her, they adore her. My heart shattered. Or did you teach them too? Did you tell them I was gone? That I wasn't coming back? He looked away. That silence was answer enough. I clenched my fists. How dare you? You took everything from me, my children, my home, my dignity. And now you parade her in front of me as if I should accept it. Mom touched my shoulder. Please, calm down, I shook her hand off. No, you welcomed her too, didn't you? You smiled at her. You let her sit here like she belongs. My own parents. Mom's tears glistened. We just didn't want to push them away. You pushed me away. I screamed. You chose them over me. Daniel stepped forward, voice low. This isn't healthy. You should focus on recovery, not anger. I laughed bitterly. Easy for you to say, you already replaced me. Sophie tilted her head, feigning sympathy. I know this must be hard, but maybe, in time, you'll see we're not enemies. Not enemies? I whispered. You destroyed my marriage, my family, my children's world. You are everything but a friend. Her smile finally faltered. Daniel grabbed her hand protectively, and the sight nearly broke me. My chest heaved. You held my hand at the altar, I said to him, voice trembling. You promised to love me in sickness and in health. And when sickness came, you ran. You left me to die alone. He flinched. I didn't know what else to do. You chose the easiest way, I said bitterly. You chose her. Sophie squeezed his hand. Let's go, Daniel. This isn't helping. He hesitated, looking at my parents. We'll come back another time. No, I said sharply. Don't come back. I don't want your pity visits. I don't want her face anywhere near me, Mom gasped. Darling, I mean it, I said firmly. If she steps into this room again, I'll leave the hospital myself. Sophie's eyes flickered, and for the first time, her mask cracked. You don't get to control everything anymore. Watch me, I hissed. Daniel pulled her toward the door, muttering under his breath. This was a mistake. The door closed behind them. Silence filled the room. My chest rose and fell, sharp and uneven. I turned to my parents, voice hollow. You let her sit here. You let her talk about my children as if they were hers. Dad's eyes dropped. We didn't want to cause a scene. A scene? I laughed bitterly, tears running hot down my cheeks. My entire life is the scene. And you're all standing in the audience, clapping for her. Mom sobbed softly, reaching for me again. Please, don't push us away. You already pushed me away, I whispered. I lay back, staring at the ceiling. My rage burned hotter than my tears. For the first time, I realized this wasn't just betrayal. It was war. The key trembled in my hand as I unlocked the front door. My parents stood behind me, silent. I pushed it open, bracing myself. The house smelled different, cold, empty. I stepped inside. Where are the toys? Mom whispered. Daniel took them. My eyes darted across the living room. No dolls, no cars, no scattered blocks, just silence. My throat tightened. And the photos? Dad shifted. He removed them. I walked to the wall where our wedding portrait once hung, bare, the shelves empty of family frames, every trace of me erased. Why would he do this? My voice cracked. To make things easier for the children, Mom murmured. Easier? I spun on her. Easier to forget me? Neither answered. I wandered into the kids' room. Beds stripped, posters gone. The walls stared back at me like strangers. I clutched Emily's old blanket, the one they'd left behind. They lived here, I whispered. They laughed here. And now Mom tried to touch my shoulder. Please, don't torture yourself. I already am. I turned sharply. Because everywhere I look, I see the life he stole. Dad's voice was firm. You need to focus on healing, not what's missing. What's missing? My laugh was hollow. Everything is missing. I collapsed onto the couch, holding the blanket to my chest. Do they even remember me? Of course they do, Mom said quickly. Or did he tell them I abandoned them? My voice shook. Did he poison them against me? Just like he poisoned you? Her eyes widened. No, then why aren't they here? I demanded. Why haven't they run into my arms? Why haven't I heard their voices? Dad sat stiffly. Because Daniel thinks it will confuse them. They've grown used to a new routine. My chest caved. Routine? You call this routine? My children are living with a stranger in my house, in my place, and you accept it. We don't accept it, Mom pleaded. We're trying to keep peace until you're strong enough. I don't need peace. I need my children. My voice cracked, breaking into sobs. The silence stretched heavy. Later that night, I sat alone in my bedroom. The room felt foreign. No photos, no warmth, only shadows. I whispered to the darkness. Emily, Noah, do you miss me? The answer was silence. Tears slid down my face. I pressed the blanket to my lips, breathing in the faint scent that still lingered. I'm here, I murmured, though no one could hear. I never left you. Don't forget me. The scream built inside me, but I swallowed it whole, letting it tear me apart in silence, because if I let it out, I was afraid I might never stop. The dining table was set with candles and polished cutlery, as if it were a celebration. My stomach twisted the moment I heard the front door open. Mom's cheerful voice floated in. You're here. Come in. Come in. I froze. Daniel's voice answered, casual. Thanks for having us. And then her Sophie. Light, sweet, poisonous. It smells wonderful. I gripped my fork until my knuckles went white. Mom beamed as they entered the dining room. Sit, please. Make yourselves comfortable. I glared at the empty seat beside me. Really? You invited them here? Mom avoided my eyes. It's just dinner. Just dinner? My voice cracked. With the man who abandoned me and the woman who replaced me. Daniel sighed. We didn't come to fight. You shouldn't have come at all. I shot back. Sophie smiled at my parents. It means a lot to us that you welcomed us. I slammed my fork down. Stop acting like you belong here. Dad's voice was sharp. Enough. We're trying to eat in peace. In peace? I laughed bitterly. There's no peace while they sit at this table. Daniel leaned forward. I'm still the father of your children, and I'm still their mother. My chest burned. But you erased me. You dragged them into your lie. His eyes flickered, but he said nothing. Mom tried to pour wine into Sophie's glass. I nearly choked. Are you serious? You treat her like a daughter while I sit here invisible? Sophie's tone was gentle to gentle. I don't want to replace you. I only want what's best for Emily and Noah. Don't say their names, I hissed. You've stolen enough. Daniel slammed his palm on the table. She's good to them. They're happy, they're confused. I cut him off. And you call it happiness? The silence afterward was thick. Dad finally said, let's eat. I stared at the food, my appetite gone. Eat? While I choke on betrayal? Mom whispered, please, don't make a scene. I am the scene, I said coldly. You made me watch my parents toast the woman who destroyed my marriage. Sophie's mask slipped for a second, her smile tightening. Anger won't change the past. I leaned forward, voice low. No, but it will change the future. Daniel's eyes narrowed. What's that supposed to mean? That I won't sit here and beg for scraps of love while you both play family with my children. Mom tried again. Darling, we only want to keep the family together. Together? I stared at her. You've already chosen your side. Dad's face hardened. Don't twist this. We're trying to survive. I already survived, I said sharply. Alone, without him, without you. And I'll survive again without any of you if I have to. Sophie reached for Daniel's hand across the table. The sight nearly made me sick. I pushed my chair back, the legs scraping loudly against the floor. Enjoy your dinner. I won't sit here and pretend. Mom pleaded. Please know my voice was sharp. I may have been weak before, but not anymore. Tonight showed me everything I need to know. Daniel stood too, his expression guarded. You're making this harder than it has to be. I glared at him. Good. I hope it's unbearable. Sophie touched his arm. Let's go, Daniel. They left without another word. The door shut. The silence left behind was deafening. I turned to my parents. You humiliated me in my own home. You broke me again. Mom sobbed quietly. Dad said nothing. I whispered to myself, more than to them, never again. I won't be their victim. And for the first time, I meant it. The calf smelled like roasted beans and rain. I sat by the window, fingers trembling around the cup. Then I saw her, Rachel. Same confident stride, same piercing eyes. She slid into the chair across from me. You look like hell. I managed a weak smile. Nice to see you too. I'm not here to flatter you, she said. I'm here because you called, and because I still care. My throat tightened. I didn't know who else to turn to. You did the right thing, Rachel said firmly. Now tell me everything. Don't hold back. So I did. Every betrayal, every lie. By the time I finished, my hands shook. Rachel leaned back, eyes blazing. He took your children while you were in a coma? Yes. My voice cracked. And my parents let him. Her jaw clenched. Unbelievable. And now he parades that woman around like she's their mother? I nodded, swallowing hard. I feel powerless, Rachel. Like he stole my voice along with them. She leaned forward. Listen to me. You are not powerless. You're their mother. The law recognizes that even if your family doesn't. I blinked. The law? You still have rights, she said firmly. Custody, visitation, child support, you name it. He doesn't get to decide you're erased. Hope flickered, fragile but real. But what if he poisoned them against me? What if they don't want me anymore? Rachel grabbed my hand. Children don't forget their mother. Not unless someone forces them to. And even then, deep down, they know. You have a bond he can't erase. I stared at her, tears stinging. You really think I can fight? I don't think, she said. I know. And I'll help you. The weight in my chest shifted, just slightly. But he has money. A house. Sophie. My parents even side with him. What do I have? You have the truth, Rachel snapped. You have the fact that you fought for your life while he played house with another woman. Judges don't take kindly to that. He abandoned you. That matters. I swallowed. What if he says I'm too weak? That I can't care for them? Then we prove him wrong, she said. We'll build your strength back, step by step. And when the time comes, you'll show everyone exactly who you are. For the first time in months, I almost believed her. Rachel, I whispered, what if I fail? Then I'll pick you up and make you try again, she said without hesitation. You're not alone anymore. I covered my face with my hands. God, I've felt so alone. She squeezed my arm. Not anymore. I'm here. And together, we'll make him regret ever thinking you'd stay silent. I lowered my hands, meeting her fierce gaze. You sound so sure. Because I've seen women like you rise from ashes, she said. And when they do, they burn brighter than anyone expects. Something inside me shifted small, but enough. I took a deep breath. Okay, tell me what to do. First, Rachel said, we gather evidence. Messages, records, anything that shows neglect or betrayal. Second, we build your case for custody. Third, she smiled grimly, we make Daniel sweat. The thought sent a spark of satisfaction through me. I'd like that. Good, she said. Then we start now. No more tears without purpose. From here on out, everything you feel, use it. Anger, pain, grief, turn it into fuel. I nodded slowly. Fuel, that's right. Rachel leaned back. You've been his victim long enough. Time to be his nightmare. Her words lit something deep inside me, something I thought was gone. Strength. I exhaled shakily. Rachel, thank you. She smiled softly. Don't thank me yet. Save it for the day you hold your children in your arms again. My heart ached at the thought, but for the first time, the ache carried hope. I straightened in my chair, voice firmer. I'll fight. Whatever it takes, I'll fight. That's the spirit, Rachel said, her eyes fierce. And I'll be right beside you every step. We sat in silence for a moment, the rain tapping against the glass. Finally, I whispered, he doesn't know what's coming, does he? Rachel's smile was sharp. Not even close. Rachel leaned across the table, her eyes sharp. I did some digging. My heart skipped. What did you find? Daniel's company is drowning in debt, she said flatly. He's been taking loans, stretching credit, covering holes. It's a mess. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Debt? But he pretends everything is perfect. New house, new life. Sophie, Rachel smirked. That's the image. The truth? Cracks are showing. I leaned closer. Tell me everything. He's behind on payments. Vendors are pulling out. Sophie keeps pressuring him, luxury tastes, expensive outings. She wants status, and he's desperate to give it to her. I let out a bitter laugh. So their fairy tale isn't so shiny after all. Rachel's tone hardened. No, and when pressure builds, people make mistakes. That's where you'll win. Her words burned into me. I whispered, maybe karma is faster than I thought. That evening, I sat in my parents' living room. The news burned on my tongue, but I said nothing. Dad set down his paper. Daniel came by earlier. He's working so hard to provide for the children. You should appreciate that. My jaw tightened. Appreciate what? Him stealing my kids? Mom sighed. He's trying his best. His best? I scoffed. Do you know he's drowning in debt? Dad frowned. That's not true. Yes, it is. I leaned forward, voice sharp. He's struggling to keep his company afloat. Sophie is bleeding him dry. That's the truth. Mom shook her head quickly. He told us everything is fine. Of course he did, I snapped. He wouldn't dare show you the cracks. But they're there. His perfect little world is falling apart. Dad's face hardened. You sound bitter. I am bitter, I hissed. Because you defend him while he ruins our children's lives. Mom's voice wavered. He said Sophie is good to them. Good? I laughed bitterly. Good at spending his money. Good at smiling while she takes what isn't hers. They didn't respond. The silence was its own confession. Days later, Rachel called. He's cutting staff. Desperate measures. People are talking. I gripped the phone tighter. And Sophie? She's not happy, Rachel said dryly. She wanted a golden cage. Now it's rusting. I smiled faintly. Let her choke on the rust. Rachel's tone softened. This is the beginning. Watch carefully. Don't move yet. Let him unravel on his own. Patience isn't easy, I admitted, but it's powerful. She reminded me. That night, I sat on my bed, staring at the empty shelves where family photos once lived. My parents still defended him, blind and stubborn. Mom's voice echoed in my memory. He's trying his best. Dad's stern reply. He provides stability. I whispered to myself. Stability built on lies crumbles faster than truth. For the first time, the thought didn't hurt. It gave me strength, because now, I wasn't waiting for mercy. I was waiting for justice. Rachel sat across from me at her office desk, the papers stacked between us. Once you sign, the petition is filed. Custody battle officially begins. My hands trembled, but I picked up the pen. I'm ready. She studied me. Are you sure? I met her eyes. He took my children. I won't let him keep them. I signed. The moment the ink dried, a strange calm settled over me. 2 days later, Daniel stormed into my parents' house. His voice boomed from the doorway. What the hell have you done? I stepped into the living room. I fought back. His face twisted. Filing for custody? After everything I've done for those kids? Everything? I snapped. You mean stealing them, lying to them, replacing me? Sophie walked in behind him, her heels clicking sharply. You're pathetic, she sneered. Clinging to children who barely remember you. My chest burned. Say their names again and see what happens, she smirked. Emily and Noah are mine now. I tuck them in, I feed them, enough. My voice cracked like glass. You will never be their mother. Daniel pointed a finger at me. You're weak. You can't even stand on your own 2 feet without help. How do you expect to raise children? I survived a coma, I shot back. That's more strength than you'll ever know. Mom stepped between us nervously. Please, stop shouting no, I said firmly. Let them show their true faces. Sophie's mask slipped completely. You're a burden. Daniel deserves better. The children deserve better. Dad's eyes widened at her venom. That's enough, Sophie, she scoffed. You defend her after she failed as a wife, as a mother? The words stabbed deep, but I forced myself to stand taller. I may have failed in sickness, but I never abandoned them. You can't erase that. Daniel's voice grew harsher. I won't let you take them from me. You already did, I said quietly. Now I'm taking them back. Mom finally spoke, her voice trembling. Daniel, is this how you talk to her when we're not around? He faltered. She pushed me to it. No, Mom whispered, shaking her head. This is cruelty. Dad looked between them, his face hardening. We believed you, Daniel. We defended you. But hearing this, he trailed off, his disappointment heavy. Sophie rolled her eyes. Don't act shocked. She's nothing. Everyone can see it. I smiled bitterly. If I'm nothing, then why are you so afraid of losing to me? Sophie's face reddened. Daniel pulled her back, muttering, We're done here. As they stormed out, I turned to my parents. Do you see now? Do you finally understand? They said nothing, but their silence no longer defended him. For the first time, the power had shifted. Rachel called me one morning, her tone triumphant. It finally happened. I sat up in bed, heart racing. What? Daniel lost his job. The company folded under the debt. He's out. I let the words sink in, a bitter sweetness spreading through me. So the empire crumbled. Rachel's voice sharpened. And Sophie? She won't stick around long. Watch. A week later, my parents came by, faces drawn. Dad cleared his throat. We saw Daniel. He's struggling. I sipped my tea slowly. Struggling without his golden throne? Mom sighed. He's trying to find work. Sophie didn't look happy. Of course not, I muttered. She didn't marry love. She married money. Dad looked at me uneasily. He asked if you'd speak to him. I laughed bitterly. Now he remembers me? Days passed before I saw it myself. At the visitation drop-off, Sophie stayed in the car, her expression cold. Daniel handed Emily and Noah their bags. I crouched to hug them, my arms aching with relief. Mommy, Emily whispered, clinging to me. Can we stay longer? Please? My heart squeezed. I wish you could. Noah tugged my sleeve. We don't like it there. Daddy's always angry. Sophie yells. I froze, meeting Daniel's eyes. He looked away. Go inside, I told them softly. I'll be right there. Once they were in the hallway, I faced him. So, the cracks are wider now, aren't they? He rubbed his face. You don't understand the pressure, no, I snapped. You don't understand what it means to be left behind, erased, and still keep breathing. His voice dropped. Sophie's leaving. I blinked. Leaving you? He gave a bitter laugh. She found someone richer. Packed half her things already. I almost smiled. So the queen abandoned her king. He glared. Don't mock me. You mocked yourself, I said coldly, by thinking betrayal wouldn't come for you too. That night, Emily curled in my lap, Noah beside her. Mommy, Emily whispered, can't we just stay here? We don't want to go back. Tears stung my eyes. I'm fighting for you. Soon, you'll be with me. Noah hugged my waist. We want you, not Sophie. I kissed their heads, my heart breaking and healing at the same time. And I want you, always. When they finally slept, I sat in the quiet, the weight of it all pressing down. Daniel had fallen. Sophie had fled. And my children still knew me, still loved me. Karma had done what I couldn't. All I had to do was be ready to claim what was mine. The courtroom air was heavy. Every sound amplified the shuffle of papers, the echo of footsteps. I gripped Rachel's hand under the table, my heart pounding. The judge's voice finally cut through. Custody of Emily and Noah is hereby granted to their mother. For a second, I couldn't move. Then the words sank in. My children, mine. Rachel squeezed my hand. You did it. Tears blurred my vision. We did it. Daniel's voice erupted across the room. This is insane. She can't handle them. The judge's gavel struck. Order. My decision is final. Sophie sat in the back, arms folded, her face unreadable. I didn't even look at her. She was already gone from his world. Outside the courthouse, Emily and Noah ran into my arms. Mommy. I clutched them tightly, burying my face in their hair. You're home now. You're safe. Do we really get to stay? Emily asked, wide-eyed. Yes, baby. You're with me. Noah hugged me harder. I knew you'd win. My heart nearly broke. I fought because of you. Rachel stood nearby, smiling softly. I'll let you celebrate. You deserve this moment. I mouthed thank you, and she nodded before walking away. That evening, my parents came over. The house felt alive again, children's laughter filling the air, toys scattered on the floor, Mom's eyes filled with tears watching Emily and Noah chase each other down the hall. They're happy here, she whispered. Yes, I said, my voice firm. They belong here. Dad cleared his throat. We were wrong. I turned sharply. Yes, you were. Mom's voice broke. We thought we were protecting them. We thought siding with Daniel meant stability. But seeing him today, hearing the way he spoke to you, she covered her mouth. We failed you. I didn't answer right away. The silence stretched heavy. Dad finally said, we're asking for forgiveness. I stared at them, anger and sorrow swirling inside me. Forgiveness isn't a word you earn by asking once. You abandoned me when I needed you most. You let him steal my life while I lay in a hospital bed. Mom sobbed quietly. We regret it every day. Good, I said softly. Regret it. Live with it. Because I lived with abandonment. Dad's eyes dropped. You're stronger than we ever gave you credit for. I looked at Emily and Noah, laughing together. My chest filled with something fierce, unshakable. I didn't want to be strong. I was forced to be. But now I am. Mom reached for my hand hesitantly. Will you ever forgive us? I pulled back gently. Not today. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe never. But I'll never forget. The room fell quiet except for the children's laughter. That night, after tucking Emily and Noah into bed, I sat alone in the living room. For the first time, the silence wasn't suffocating. It was peaceful. I whispered to myself, I survived. Images flashed: Daniel's betrayal, Sophie's smile, my parents' lies, the endless nights of tears. And yet, here I was, stronger. I didn't win by destroying them. I won by standing, by refusing to break. Emily's soft voice drifted from the hallway. Mommy? I turned. Yes, baby. She rubbed her eyes sleepily. You won, right? I smiled, tears sliding down my cheeks. Yes, sweetheart. I won. She grinned and ran back to bed. I leaned back, closing my eyes. My justice wasn't revenge. It was this: my children safe in my arms, my strength reclaimed. I whispered into the quiet night. They abandoned me, but I rose. And I'll never fall again.